Hello, callers. Welcome back to Viva Barca, and welcome to another interesting episode where we discuss on some interesting updates. We start with Aureo Romeo, who in a recent interview talks about Xavi, Busquets, De Jong, Pedri, Gundogan, Barcelona. We are going to discuss on what the new signing had to say as we progress. Secondly, talking about this transfer news claiming that 20-year-old Barca midfield target Fabrizio Diaz could be available for 9 million euros in January if Deco intervenes. We are also going to be discussing more on that. So guys, as we get right into it in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe, turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Other Romeo's move to Barcelona this summer is perhaps the deal least talked about. The Spaniard was not a name as big as Ilkay Gundogan or Inigo Martinez, but has arguably had the most impact since arriving. Romeo has been a walk or a force to reckon with in Barca's midfield so far, displaying comfort on the ball and seamless distribution. After all, he is an alumnus of the club's famed La Masia youth setup. Earlier this week, the veteran midfielder spoke to eSport 3 on a plethora of topics, including his move to Barcelona and his initial days at the club. Here we discuss on the excerpts of his recent media interaction. The Barca midfielder began his interview by addressing the elephant in the room, Luis Rubiales, and his actions that have seen backlash from across the globe. He said, "The president of the Spanish Federation showed pathetic behavior. It is sad because they won the World Cup, but the headlines are dominated by that issue. We have to value what the footballers did. They deserve it," Romeo said on the RFEF president's incident. Arriving on the topic of the performance of his club, the defensive midfielder transmitted positive takeaways, albeit not without criticism, he said. "Our start this season has been good in terms of results. We have had difficult away matches and we have had to pull through in whatever way we can. However, it's clear that we have a lot of things to improve." Sergio Busquets marked an error in Barca's midfield, and Oriol Romeo is the club's first effort at trying to replace the Spanish genius. Commenting on the legend whose shoes he has filled, Romeo said, "Busy is the best possible defensive midfielder for this team. I'm trying my best to play there. So far, I think I'm doing well. It's a luxury to play in Barcelona's midfield. It depends on your brain more than your legs. I enjoy it very much, especially with quality players beside me," he added, on the challenges on being a midfielder. The 31-year-old then elaborated on what Xavi Hernandez expected of him and the specific instructions he received from the manager. He said, "I don't know exactly what Xavi instructed Busquets to do, but I follow what he tells me to do now. For example, in Pamplona, he asked the most physical players to step forward and press high up the pitch to avoid them controlling us. I always try to help the team," he said. Xavi Hernandez has opted to continue with the 4-3-3 system with a fourth midfielder playing on the left wing. Speaking on the team tactics on the field and how it played out, Romeo said, "Our style is very clear. It's about attacking our opponent with the ball, being progressive, play out wide, press high up the pitch. The philosophy is always the same, but it also depends on the players that play the match." Frankie de Jong has arguably been Barca's best player this season in midfield, and the Spanish midfielder acknowledged his impact in the interview. He said, "Frankie makes the team advance with his dribbling. He needs to feel comfortable on the pitch, playing his football. He's a very good player. The intelligence of Pedri, Gundogan, Fermin, how they turn their bodies, how they play with your feet, the quick mental agility they have in short spaces," he added. when asked what impressed him the most since his arrival at Barcelona. Romeo went on to reveal the secrets behind his fitness. After all, he has only missed 34 days of action in close to a decade, he said. In terms of my physique, I take more care of myself now. I'm still knowing things about myself and I know what I can do. I'm happy and I can still improve. Barca searched far and wide for new player who could take over from Busquets in the defensive midfield. The search finally terminated with Romeo, and the player admitted to the excitement he had over the transfer. He said, I knew that I was one of Barca's options in midfield. If they signed me, I told myself that I needed to enjoy myself and play a great season. Girona understood my desire to leave. They appreciated my season and respected my decision, he said. Finally, the veteran gave his 2 cents on Barca's chances in Champions League and called it the team's goal of the ongoing season. He said, we will fight for the Champions League. The team still needs to take a step forward in Europe. The squad has a very high level, but we'll see. But yes, the Champions League has to be our goal. Then moving on to the final story of discussion. Even though it has only been a few days since the summer window closed, the rumor mill is already abuzz with fresh speculations linking FC Barcelona with players for January. Earlier this week, it was reported that the Catalans could enter the market for a pivot midfielder in the winter window as backup for Oriol Romeo. Four names are understood to be on the radars of the Catalan club already in the form of Joao Paulinho, Florentino Luis Jorginho, and Guido Rodriguez. Now, Roger Torello of Mundo Deportivo is reporting that Barca could look at other inexpensive options as well to reinforce the pivot position. The names of Thiago Alcantara and Adrian Rabiot have been suggested by the journalist as potential cost-effective options as their contracts expire next year. And another name that could end up Barca's list for the winter is Fabrizio Diaz. So, just 20 years old, the defensive midfielder is already the captain of Liverpool Montevideo and has made 100 plus appearances for the Uruguayan side. Diaz also led the Uruguayan under 20 national team to the FIFA under 20 World Cup triumph earlier this year. The 20-year-old pivot midfielder had been on the radars of Barca all through the summer, with the player also admitting his desire for a move, he said. It's a dream that a top club as big as Barca is eyeing me. It's fantastic. I am calm. My agent will find the best option for me. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.